Hi, and welcome to Wednesday with Stamping with Fiona. And today I'm going to be sharing with you how to use the Rainbow of Happiness bundle. So it is a stamp set and amazing dies. So I've got 4 cards to show you, already made, and then everything is ready and die cut. The only thing I will need to do is to do a little bit of stamping to share with you. Also to let you know that if you purchase £35 through my online store, and the link is in my blog, I will put a link to the blog with the posts, and you can order the Rainbow of Happiness bundle, which will still qualify for at the moment until Monday midnight, 11 p.m. UK time, I think, the 28th of February. Celebration items, and the Rainbow of Happiness bundle does qualify you for 1 free item. So you can either get the rainbow paper, the Sunshine and Rainbows paper, you could get a stamp set, but there is only 5.5 days left of celebration at the moment. So I'm just going to shut down this picture of me and focus on let me just check the volume is at maximum. Okay, hopefully this will be good. So this is the first card, and the card base is Bermuda Bay, because there's some beautiful stripes there with Bermuda Bay. And as I said, I've got everything ready. Also, if you do order anything through my online store, you've got until midnight on Monday the 28th of February. Use this host code, and again, that is that I'll be a link to my blog, and that is in the blog. But if you use that, you will also then get from me everything you need except the stamping to do these make and takes. I'll do all the die cutting for you, send you the papers, the cardstock, and you just need to make them basically. So use that host code so that I can know that you want the make and takes. If you order something and don't use the host code, then I won't send you the make and takes. I assume that's your way of telling me you don't want them. Alternatively, you can email me, fiona@stampingwithfiona.com, if you forget to use the host code and you do want the make and takes. Right, okay, let's crack on. So this is the first one. And I love this. Sending you a Rainbow of Happiness has been stamped on. So I have already cut everything out that I need. Not sure what that. Not sure what that white card is for. That might be spare. So there's a strip of Designer Series paper. There's a matte Designer Series paper which is going to go on first. There's a circle which I've cut out in vellum. There's a little heart which has been die cut. I think that's from the Give It a Whirl set. And I've pre-cut the clouds. All I need to do is stamp. The other thing I need to do is to cut out the rainbows, which are in this free pack of Sunshine and Rainbows paper. I thought I had already got that out, but maybe not, unless that is a stamp. That might, it's so long ago since I made these. Yeah, so I need to stamp those. Okay, let's get my large block out. I'll do the stamping last, and we'll just get everything ready. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus for this paper, which, as I said, is free with a £45 purchase. It's 6x6 paper, and you get 48 sheets in it, so that's pretty good for free. And you spend £45. So I'm just going to put this on, and there should be a little border so that you can see the Bermuda Bay. Okay, there we go. And then we have the stripe going from top to bottom. I do love Bermuda Bay. It's a beautiful colour. I think when I first joined stamping, I think it was my favourite colour. And I do still love it, but I think probably Coastal Cabana I love now, and also Pool Party. And to be honest, there's not many colours I don't really like. Probably Page and Craze, which is sort of a brownie colour. And then my vellum goes on. Now, because the rainbows are going over the top, you don't have to worry about the glue showing through. So I'm just going to put enough on there to keep it all safe. Just layer that. There we go. And then my clouds. So I will do the clouds because they're going to be layered with dimensionals, but I'm going to do the stamping. So it's going to be Magenta Madness, Bermuda Bay. What colour is that? Let's just check my Mango Melody is, and Pool Party. So let's find Mango Melody and Pool Party. So it's brights. You've got 3 brights there. Sorry, 2 brights, one in colour, which is the magenta, and the Pool Party. So the first one I'm going to do, let's put them in order. Magenta Madness and Pool Party. There we go. Now I'm just going to move that host code out of my way. So I'll put that there so you can make a note of it. And that's the card we're working on. Right, so this is going to be the largest. Rainbow. Now they are photopolymer, so you can move them around. And I'm just going to do the base of this with some Versamark, just to stop it getting really badly coloured. And then if I clean it off straight away, hopefully it won't stain it too much. Okay. Magenta Madness. And let's just give that a quick clean so that I don't stain it too badly. Yeah, I stained it already. Not to worry. They're just as good to use once they're stained. So that's the first one. I love these cases because they show where your stamp's got to go, and then you know if you're missing anything. Right, the next one is Mango Melody. Whoops. It's alive. What I'm going to do actually is lie it there so I can make sure it's inside. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Oh, now I want to stamp this off because the Mango Melody is the layer that is going to have the sentiment on it. So I'm just going to stamp it on the back once to get the darkness off, and then it will be much lighter. So when I stamp the sentiment with Mango Melody, you will be able to see it because it's not too dark. Okay, here we go. Let's give that a quick clean. Yeah, that's come straight off. That's brilliant. It's really just the reds that I think stain badly. Okay. I'm going to need the Magenta Madness in a minute for the sentiment. Actually, why don't I do that now, then I can get that ink out of the way. Right, let's pop that round to make sure it's inside the colour. Sending you a rainbow of happiness. I think that's lovely. Really lovely sentiment. Here we go. Lovely. Okay, that was my notebook just falling on the floor. Obviously had it a bit precariously balanced, so I'll just need to... Okay, so that's the sentiment done. Right, then it's going to be the Bermuda Bay colour. Just get the Mango Melody out of the way. Hope my notebook stays in place this time. Right, so this is going to be Bermuda Bay. And so you can see how I'm just lining them up to make sure that they fit perfectly and they don't overlap. Lovely. I do like that colour. Put that away. And then last but not least is the Pool Party. So you can see how they fit inside each other. It's really clever, I think. And because they're photopolymer, as I've said, you can adjust them. So I'm just going to make sure that that one lines up. And that's going to be Pool Party. There we go. That's my rainbow stamped. Okay. Now, I don't think there is actually a die for this one. Brilliant rainbows. No, there isn't actually a die for this one, so I'm just going to fussy cut it with my scissors. I'm just going to leave a little bit of white around the edge. So there's not fussy cutting on every card. I think it might be the only one actually. It's got the fussy cutting. My big scissors out to speed this up. You don't really want to sit and watch me cutting stuff out, do you? I should have done this earlier, but I wanted to show you how the stamps worked. So it's a lovely sunny day here today. Thank goodness that wind has finally died down. And then the bottom doesn't matter too much because it's going to be covered up with the clouds. So then I've laid that flat on top of my circle. So I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus. You could use dimensionals for that, but I'm trying to keep it flat, mainly for the sake of the postage, really. Okay, and then I'm just going to line up where I want my. So if I just cut that there. Yeah, so that way. And you can get 2 lots of that. Now this I am going to use dimensionals for. Just making sure I'm not putting them on the wrong side because I won't get the stitching to show. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to pop that over there. My dimensionals are falling apart. And I just need some linen thread for a little bow, and then I think I've used the not sure what I've used actually, but I think I'm going to use the iridescent rhinestones this time. They're beautiful. As I said, if you spend £35 in my store, you will get the make and takes, everything you need for the make and takes except the stamped images. If you spend over £50, I will include a pack of these iridescent jewels for you. I think they're just lovely. They really catch the light shot. I'll show you those in a second. I might need to make that a bit smaller. It's going to take up all my cloud otherwise. Right, glue dot. Okay, I'm just going to roll that up. She says, doesn't want to roll up. Okay, there we go. I've just rolled it up so that it's narrow, and then that can go on there. Now I'll put a jewel on top of that just to make sure that it doesn't stick to the envelope. So, 1, 2, and I'm just going to pop my heart on with a dimensional. Yay, one big one will do. And then pop a iridescent just on the top there. So hopefully you can see sparkle and the sentiment. Oh, I just realised I've put my cloud on too high up because I'm covering up my sentiment, so I just need to move that down a bit. See if I can get that off with my tool, and then move this down a bit. Now, I'm going to have to leave it, but learn by my mistake. So I've covered up that first word. I needed to cut a bit off that. I've done it too wide. You can see the difference there. So learn from my mistakes. Anyway, that's card number 1. Okay, now card number 2. And this is a die, which I have already cut, so that will save a bit of time. And there's only a little bit of stamping for the message on this one. So what I did was I stamped using no, I think actually I can't remember this one. Gosh, it's definitely stamped and then coloured. So it's stamped with the raindrops. So it's onto cardstock, coloured cardstock, and then I've stamped with the raindrops in the magenta, the dots on the mango, the lines on the, I think that's, was that on the apple? That one, yeah. And then the raindrops again on the misty moonlight, and then they've been cut out with the die. So you can cut out the frame, which I've done here in the white. Right, let's move everything to the side and do this in a systematic order so I can show you how it works. So again, we've got a mat from the free designer series paper. I'm just going to put that on, and that has got lots of these rainbows with the background is misty moonlight. I think that's going to be the colour I'm going to miss most when these in colours go in a few months' time. It's not long. And again, all the measurements you can get from my blog, and you can get the free make and takes. So then I'm just going to pop with the Seal Plus the white mat, and that's going to go at an angle. So just work out how you want your angle to go. So I'm going to have it from the edge. Yeah, just to the edge of the card, of the designer series paper. There we go, like that. Just at a slight angle. And then using dimensionals, I want to layer this. So this is probably the trickiest part. I mean, I could use the long strips, but they are a bit thicker than dimensionals, which kind of raises it up a little bit too high. So I'm just going to use normal dimensionals and then fill in any little gaps with the small ones. The other bits that I always use is the bits around the edge, which are brilliant. So these bits here, they're great for like these lines. So let's cut a bit of that off. Just need to trim that down. Just want a really narrow bit. Cut this as I go along. It's a bit stuck on my scissors. There we go. Right, just going to use a pair of scissors that don't usually stick to. Just need to trim these edges off. That's it. Okay, that's that bit there. And then I'm going to do that this time before I pull it off, so I'm going to just cut straight along using my Discard's non-stick scissors. I love my snips, but for non-sticking this is probably better. Just a little bit there, and a bit along the bottom, and then a bit in the middle, and then we're done. Sorry it's taking so long. Okay, there. And then these bits that I cut off, little triangles, should fit perfectly. Just move that so you can see what I'm doing. It's just really so it doesn't get squashed in the mail. And just one more bit to do. Just want a really narrow bit. There we go for this last one here. So like I said, this is probably the hardest bit. And then once that bit's done, it's hopefully plain sailing all the way. Okay, right, I just need to take my backs off now. So I hope he didn't get too much damage from the storms. I must admit, I'm quite glad the winds died down today, although it wouldn't surprise me. I think it's supposed to be back a bit later in the week. Right, okay, so now I'm just going to lay that across the one that we've already matted. And there is just a little bit sticking out there, so I'm just going to need to push that under. Okay, now with the bits that I've already cut out, so I had to cut a whole load out in the Mango Melody and a whole load out in the magenta, and then stamp them. But that's fine because you can use them for other projects, just change the colours around. And what I'm going to do now is using the wet glue. We'll start with the bigger one. And I'm just going to pop it straight down in the little bit where the hole is, making sure it's right in. And just press down. So I'm just going to repeat that with each one. I think this is brilliant, this design. Whoever designed it, very clever. Same thing with the Mango Melody, just make sure it's right and flush. And because I'm using the wet glue, I have a little bit of time to manipulate it. And this is Granny Apple Green. And then last but not least, Midnight, Misty Moonlight, sorry, not Midnight, Misty Moonlight. So they're in like little channels. That's the word I was trying to think of before. Just need to move that over a bit. There we go. There, that's that. Now I've already die cut my very small cloud from the dies, and then the cloud is from the designer series paper, a free designer series paper. So there's the sheet of it, of the clouds, and I'm just going to use my cloud punch for that. And again, a little bit of white for emphasis. Get my post-it note off the back. And pop that across. So that's just going to go, actually I will use dimensionals. I'll put dimensionals in the channels, and then that'll be the easiest way of doing it. And one underneath. There we go. So there's my cloud. And then all I need to do now is just to stamp my thank you, an itsy bitsy teeny weeny thank you. And I'm going to do that in Mango Melody. But there is room up there if you wanted. You could do that stamp says you make this world a better place, and you could actually do that. So that's quite nice actually. I might do that instead of the thank you. I'm going to put the white cloud on anyway, but I have a brother who's really suffering at the moment, and this might really cheer him up. I'm just going to pop that on with, I was going to use a dimensional, but that would be too high then. I'm just going to pop that on with a bit of seal. Just to give it a bit of emphasis. There we go. Right, now I'm going to just stamp that sentiment, I think, instead, in the Mango Melody. And that'll be an ideal one to send to my brother. you make this world a better place. Which he does. He just doesn't feel like it sometimes. Okay, and then this time the ribbon that's been used rather than linen thread is the Bumblebee gingham. So see if I can tie a bow in that before I cut it off, so I don't waste too much. Why is it when you do a ribbon on video, it always goes wrong, but when you do it without thinking about it, there's no problem. Right, there we go. That's fine. Okay, and again, I'm going to put that on with a glue dot. But because it's a bigger, I don't need to worry about rolling it up. So, whoops. And I'll just turn it sideways so that it will fit into the envelope. And there we go. So that's slightly different. That one is a thank you card, and then that one is a you make this world a better place. So I love both of those. So that is card number 2. Okay, now card number 3 is slightly different. This needs to tidy my desk. I've just lost my linen thread. Got the packaging, but not the thread. So goodness knows what that's on. And I'm going to need that as well. Typical. Oh, there it is. I'm just going to tidy my desk up a bit because I'm getting losing stuff. Right, okay. Let's put these in their protected bags to keep them safe. Okay. That was the first one we did. Right, card number 3. Again, designer series paper is the main story, and then this is a die cut. I just think that's lovely. And again, using the Bumblebee ribbon and some different, so that's Magenta Madness and Mega Melody. And they're not really colours that I would put together, but I just think they're actually stunning. So I'm really glad to have got this paper. And I love this set. I think it's really, when I first saw it, didn't think for me whatsoever, and then I started to see what people did with it and got it myself, and then there you go, just fall in love with it. So there's various bits of designer series paper. So there's the that's going to need to be cut down. Actually no, I won't cut it down, I'll just lay that over the top. I've already die cut my little label, I've already die cut my sun, I've already die cut the edging, that's for the sentiment, and die cut a couple of little clouds to save you sitting and watching me do it. So let's get going with the matting and layering. So I'll pop this on first. Just need to do a bit of right, so Stampin' Seal, whoops, sorry about that noise, Stampin' Seal Plus. So I find on DSP, I don't need to press too hard, and it's absolutely fine. Sometimes it catches. But if you don't press hard enough when you're using cardstock, that is when, now, I've just realised I need a piece of, right, okay, apologise, I need a piece of white, whisper white, to do the matting and layering. So I'm just going to quickly measure that. So that is 13.8 by 9.5. 13.8 by 9.5. Let me just write that down. 13.8 by 9.5. Right, I'll just quickly cut cut. Let's make some space. That host code's moving around, so I hope you can see it okay. So 13.8 by 9.5. Perfect. And the reason I needed that is because I'm going to wrap the ribbon around that rather than making a dent underneath the designer series paper. So here we go with matting and layering. It's going to need trimming down as well. I'm going to pop that one and then I'll cut it off. Now on the other one, I noticed I left a border, but actually I really do think the paper is the star of the show, so I'm not going to leave a border. I'm just going to trim that bit off. And the same with this, I'm just going to lay that over the top. Now, I do want the pull right. I do want it to start and finish. Yeah, I think I'll do it. Oh, I hadn't noticed the dots. Ooh. I know somebody who loves polka dots, so that's going to be a great card. I hadn't noticed them before. Okay, I'm just going to line that up. And then the same as before, I'm just going to trim that off. Like that. Now I'm going to put this down. If I can get hold of it. Now, a tip for you, and I always forget to do it, is when you're die cutting things, is to use your sticky sheets, and then you can just peel it off. Now I forgot, so I'm going to have to use glue. So if you've got to get these piece of sheets, then they make them into stickers, which is great. So that is my advice. I need to keep them out because I just forget about them. So I'm just going to use some wet glue and try not to make too much of a mess. Just go along here very thinly. Okay, it's going to be too long, so I'm just going to need to trim it off. And the rainbow's face up. Now the ribbon's going to hide. Okay, just trim those bits off. Okay, and then wrap the ribbon round. So I'm going to wrap the ribbon right round and tie a bow. So I'm just going to put a glue dot where I want it to, for the bow to be, which is going to be about here. I need to leave enough to make a bow, and then just wrap that round. I'm going to adjust so the white will show a bit later, and then just cut that. See how I do with the bow this time. Got my nice long piece there. that's where my blue dot is. So that should hopefully make it a little bit easier. And there we go. So I can just rearrange that. So it's covering the join. And then I can layer it onto my card base with dimensionals. I'm going to need quite a few dimensionals for this. These ones are a bit dodgy. They backing's sort of falling apart, so I'll be quite glad to get through these ones. So it takes the backing with it, which is a bit of a pain in the backside, but I haven't got that many left, so. And just a couple to give it a bit of support in the middle. And to be honest, just use these up because they're awful. I don't like them. Right, there we go. Right, let's just get the backs off. So this is card number 3. Okay, I think I've got all the backs off. Right, and then I'm just going to line that up so I have a nice white border. There we go. Let's get rid of these backings. Okay, then I'm going to pop my label so that it's upright. So I need some dimensionals for that. These are the halves of the ones I cut. So let's use those up. I'm just going to angle that so it looks like it's sort of attached to the bow, but not quite. My sun, I think I need that to go on a little bit further this time. And I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus on the side. Let's get that on and then get a dimensional underneath to give it a bit of support. Like that. And so I should have a cloud somewhere. Oh, there we go. A couple of clouds. So again, just either wet glue or Stampin' Seal. I think probably use wet glue because it's so small. That's the big one. And that's the little one just sticking out. Okay, and then I need to do again the You Make This World a Better Place. That's a really lovely stamp. I think I'll use a smaller one this time. And I'm going to do that in Magenta Madness. Lovely. And what I'm just going to do is make that into a little flag. So there are some punches that do that, but also a quick trick to do it is just to cut up from the middle and then angle in, and hopefully they're lined up. That's not too bad. And that's just going to go across the top there. Okay, so I just need to cut a little bit of the top. It's a bit too long. And I'm going to glue that down flat with my Seal Plus. There we go. You make the world a better place. Oh, I think I might just need a dimensional under there to give that a bit of support. Let's use a little one. Otherwise it's going to be waving around. Okay, so that was my original one. With the mat, you've got a white layer. Oh, sorry, a white border. And with that one, you don't have a border. So let me know which one you like best. I think I like that one best, actually. Anyway, that is card number 3. So, last card coming up. Just need to clean my stamp. Again, that has stained a little bit because that's the magenta. And this time it's a little something to brighten your day. So that must be that one. Yes. Okay. So the base on this, now it should be Magenta Madness, but I've run out. So I've got some on order, but it hasn't arrived yet. So I'm actually using polished pink. But because you've got the white and the Misty Moonlight mats, it's kind of not obvious that it's a different colour. Okay, now I have already die cut everything. She says, yeah. And this time, this is from the Designer Series paper, the free in Celebration Designer Series paper. So I just need to cut that. And then what I've done is cut from using the dies from the Designer Series paper, and I'm just going to glue those on. So whereas the first card we stamped over there, sorry, the second card we stamped over there, this time I've die cut from the DSP. And it's only the 2 smallest. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue those down so they can be drying while we do the matte layering, and then I will cut those out. Okay, so I just need my wet glue again. Just turn them up the wrong way. So that's where I'm going to put the glue, and then I'll cut them out when it's dried. So that's the Bermuda Bay. Whoops. And this is the, I think it's Granny Apple Green. Yeah, it is Granny Apple Green. So they're all lovely bright colours, aren't they? Really cheerful. So apart from the pink, they're all from the Brights family. Stampin' Up has family colour. So the Brights, the Neutrals, which is like the browns and dark red and navy and dark green. So the Neutrals, and Subtles. So the Pool Party is a subtle, and Soft Sea Foam. So you can hardly see it's a green, but you can hardly see it. That's a subtle. And Regals, which are like deep reds and browns and kind of dark greens, and then the purples, dark purples. They're the regals. Okay, so they can be drying while we do the matting and layering. So the misty moonlight is going to go onto the white, basic white. So if I was using this bit of magenta magnets, you could tell it's a different pink. But because I'm using the blue, hopefully it won't be, and the, you know, the rainbow's relatively small, it won't be too obvious. Let's get it out of the way so you can see the hose code. And we want a white border. Layer that onto the card base. So I'm having to push harder because this is cardstock, and sometimes the seal piece does get stuck. If you push hard, you should be okay. And again, I want a pink border. And this time we're going to use the linen thread, and I'm going to wrap that round. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to straighten it first. Wrap that round inside. And tie a nice big bow. Famous last words. I think I'm going to tie a knot. No, I'm not, because it'll show too much. Yeah, that's not tight enough, so I am going to need to put a glue dot there because it's just not tight enough. So roll the glue dot up. Where I want the bow to be. Pull it nice and tight. And then stick that down. And that makes it much easier to tie my bow. There we go. Put things away, don't put them down. I'm terrible for putting them down and having a really, really messy desk. Let's pull that a bit tighter. Okay. Oh, I had a spare one there. Spare bit of. Right, now I just need to cut these out. So there's only 2 cards with a very little bit of fussy cutting. And hopefully you think it's worth it. I certainly do. I think these are really cheerful cards to send to people who, you know, maybe have been ill, struggling, just to bring a bit of sunshine and brightness into someone's day. I think that's great. Okay, so that's one. Ooh. Two. Okay. And then we position them so that they are meeting in the middle. There you go. And just going to do one first. Stamp and Seal Plus. And I actually do want them sort of more in the middle of the card. So that might need to come down a little bit. It doesn't matter if they're not exactly straight, because your clouds are going to go over the top, so you kind of won't see if they're a little bit skew-iffy. Very technical term, that, skew-iffy. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Now my clouds are too long, so I'm just going to work out where I want to cut them. I didn't cut the white out there. Let's see if I can do that. No, I can't. So I'm going to need clouds to cover that up. Yeah, that just about does it. So I'm just going to make a mark with a pencil. And then I'm going to trim the ends off. To be on the outside of that line, actually it's a bit too close. Let's try that and then rub that line. I can always put a gem over it so it won't show. There you go. Not the other way. Nope. There we go. And I'm going to pop those on with dimensionals. Get rid of these 5 dimensionals, hopefully. Oh, these are a nightmare. Yay, normal dimensionals, perfect. There we go. Okay. Did you spot the deliberate mistake there? I didn't stamp before I stuck them down. So I can try, actually what I might do, I don't think that'll work. I could do it and cut. I'll try stamping it on straight onto there. If it doesn't work, then I can always cover it up by cutting out a little cloud. No, it works perfectly. A little something to brighten your day. Right, so just need my. Oh, I didn't do that on the other ones, did I? Okay, I need to go back and put some gems on these ones. So that's those two. And then these two, I don't know why they haven't got gems on. They certainly need gems. Let's pop a gem on my cloud. there and there. That's card number 2. Card number 1 already has gems on it, but it only has 1, which is fine. And card number 2 needs some gems as well. Let's go around with the gems. I really like the little gems on the side of the clouds. I think they just add a little, I don't know what, but something. And then let's put one of them right in the middle of the sun. How about that one there? There we go. Really, really love these iridescent jewels. So just to remind you, spend £35 in my online store, and I will send you everything you need to do these 4 make and takes, except for the stamped images, because you need to purchase those from Stampin' Up, and I'll also send you the tutorial. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. Let me just come back in and say, yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed that today. I certainly love these cards. The host code is there. I will post a link for my blog, which will have a direct link to my store with the host code, and you have until midnight on Monday the 28th of February to order, and these make and takes for free. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back for Friday with Fiona, and I'll be back next Wednesday. Thank you. Bye bye.